I'm holding the king of the mobile gimbals. That is the brand new Hohem M6, and when you run with that gimbal, the footage is so smooth.
That gimbal stabilization is unbelievable.
When you unpack the gimbal and turn it on for the first time, it looks a little bit weird because you have a motor in front of the camera. The gimbal is designed to be operated on 45 degrees, but when you use the ultra-wide angle lens, you can still see the motor. So there is a special mode where you press 4 times the trigger button, and then the gimbal turns like a regular gimbal. When you press 3 times, you go to selfie mode, so let's go 4 times again. Boop. It's a transformer. When you run like that, you're getting more stable footage. You have a little bit of room to move up and down, but if I'm holding it like that, watch, I don't have a room how to move.
The most amazing feature, just check how fast I can go from horizontal to vertical. And now we are ready to record for Instagram.
The gimbal has unbelievable range of motion. First, you can do the infinity shot where you're spinning 360 degrees, but that's not the impressive part. The impressive thing is the tilt axe. I never seen so flexible mobile gimbal. The tilt axe can go around 330 degrees. It's unbelievably flexible. Just check how much I can rotate all around the gimbal. That range of motion gives you unbelievable creativity and flexibility while filming.
That here is what makes that gimbal so special. It's the brain of the gimbal. It's an AI tracker that you can position portrait mode and also record yourself with the best camera lenses. Here is how it works. You just show the OK sign and the gimbal automatically starts tracking you. By default, you're centered, so the gimbal will position you always in the center. But there is a hidden feature. You can adjust the composition. Just show the double L sign, the gimbal will stop. Let's adjust the composition to the rule of thirds. It's so beautiful here. Perfect. Now come in front of the phone, position yourself, show the double L sign, and now the gimbal is tracking you and remembers the position. The best part is that the tracking doesn't lose you even if you're really far away. Another amazing feature of the gimbal is the payload. It can handle up to 400 grams. That means that no matter what you mount to the iPhone, that gimbal can handle it. Up, down, left and right, the response is unbelievable. At the moment I have a telephoto lens mounted to the iPhone, and the motors are too sensitive. We can go to the Hohem app and adjust the motor sensitivity and the motor response. I'll put the settings to slow, like that. I'll get really nice and smooth footage. How to do the perfect orbit shots with that gimbal. Show me the OK sign. And the gimbal is rotating by itself.
Two things are making that gimbal unbeatable: portability and functionality. That is my camera bag, and I can easily fit my gimbal in the top compartment. It's small enough to fit in a bag, and it packs all the functionalities of the professional gimbals. That's quite heavy telephoto lens. Let's mount it first to the iPhone and I'll show you how to balance the gimbal. First, the clamp is rotatable, so we can go landscape and portrait mode. There are two axes you have to stabilize. The first one is the tilt. So, put the phone face down and you can move it towards you or away from you. Usually when you have an accessory, you have to push it maximum towards you. And second, we have to level the gimbal. So we have an arm here, we can push it left and right. So when we have something heavy, we push it more towards the left. When you have such a heavy accessory, I would highly recommend to use the gimbal without the eye tracker, because it brings additional weight to the gimbal. The motors are strong enough to handle it, but it's a bit finicky to make the perfect balancing. The power button is on the right side, just press and hold until the gimbal beeps. A very good practice is to auto-calibrate your gimbal every single time you introduce a phone that weighs differently than the previous one, or you mount some heavy accessories. Like that, the motors can adjust themselves and you get smoother footage. To enter auto-calibration mode, you just have to press the M button 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leave the gimbal on the table and let it do its job. Now the gimbal is more responsive and the footage will be much better. Let's continue our button tour. Under the M you'll find the record button. In the record button you have integrated slider. With it you can control the zoom of the lenses. When you press the power button 2 times, you go into sleep mode. Now you can readjust your gimbal, do some changes or save some battery. If you want to turn it on again, just press the trigger button. Pressing the trigger button once, you go into sport mode. The gimbal becomes very responsive and snappy. Pressing it 2 times will reset the phone position. Pressing it 3 times, you go to selfie mode. The next very interesting button is the wheel on the left side. You can control a lot of things with it. When you press and hold, you turn on the light. First, with the wheel, you can control the power output, but you can also control the temperature of the light. You can go from 6500 kelvins down to 2700 kelvins. When you press the button 2 times, first you can roll the gimbal. I prefer using the FPV mode, but you can also do it with the wheel. Or if you press it 2 more times, you switch to focus mode and now you control the focus of the lens. That feature works when you use the Hohem Joy app. The battery life is unbelievable. It can survive for 16 hours if you don't use the light and the AI tracking. With the AI tracking and the light, it goes around 8 to 10 hours. You can also charge your phone while using the gimbal. In the package with the gimbal, you will find those nice flexible cables. There is one for USB-C and there is one for iPhone. Here there is a USB-C on the shoulder of the gimbal. Push the phone out so we can plug it. And we have to rebalance it. With that setup, I pushed the gimbal to the limit. I had to push the shoulder to the very end, but still managed to perfectly balance it, and the motors are very responsive. Best part is that the cable is not in the way. Another small detail that shows how good is that gimbal are the screw holes. Inside they're metal, they're not plastic, and you have 2 screw holes to mount additional accessories. One is here on the right side, so you can easily mount a microphone, a flexible arm, and the other one is right here. I mostly forgot the best hidden feature of that gimbal. Here you have 2 buttons, A and B. Those buttons remember position of the gimbal and do automatic transition. Let me show you how it works. So, let's come here and let's say that's our first position where we want the gimbal to finish the move. Choose one of the buttons and press and hold it until the gimbal beeps. That means that the gimbal remembers the position. Move from where you want to start the movement, double press, and the gimbal will automatically move from the last position to the remembered position. That's amazing when you film yourself. You film something and you want to be ultra smooth, or you do time lapse. By default, the movement takes 1 minute, but you can go to the HOHEMNEW app and change the duration of the move. You can go up to 1 hour. That means that you can do ultra cool and smooth time lapses. Moving time lapse is called hyperlapse, so hyperlapses.
When you're away, there's a hole in my heart. Feels like a deja vu.
If you want to take your video skills to the next level, definitely check my video course, link in the description. And a bonus, I give away 3 free LUTs. Just sign up for my newsletter on my website. See you in the next one. Bye!
Ugh.